I gotta sit. I can't do it like this.
Oh, decided
Just roll
laying
in.
down. Laying down is not the best way to podcast.
I mean, I might revert to it, but I was trying to get my thoughts together, and I'm like, nope, this is not the
You're
position
like,
to
I'm
do
about to
that.
fall asleep.
My thoughts are falling out of my butt.
You're listening to The Janchi Show, hosted by 3 Korean American adoptees diving headfirst into what it means to be adopted, Korean American, and more. And now, here's your hosts, Nathan, Patrick, and KJ.
Welcome, everybody, to The Janchi Show. It's your boys, KJ, Nathan, Patrick, here with a long-awaited solo episode, which I feel like we haven't done in a while. I don't know. Honestly, you can probably go back. And it was 2 episodes ago. Yeah. Yeah.
Fellas, we done an episode.
Yeah, fellas, how are you doing?
Good to see you guys.
It is good to see you as well. I am tired.
I know we chat and text all the time, but we don't really actually, see each other on the
face to face
here.
Yeah, leg to leg, if you will.
Yeah,
that's the.
We don't get to see Patrick's stash.
But you miss me.
For those who don't know, Patrick has a mustache now.
Yeah,
it
looks good.
KJ has a beard. I guess
I've had a beard.
He's always had a beard. I think the entire time I've known him.
And I, as the oldest, have zero facial hair. It's kind of ironic.
In Korean culture, I think in Korean culture, maybe Japanese culture too, having facial hair can imply that you're like a bad guy, like a bad seed. Like you shouldn't.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, you shouldn't hang out with him. Okay. So you're the responsible older brother, and we are the fifth. Yeah, we're the loser siblings.
I'm pushing kids out on the street. stealing acorns from squirrels.
I have a drinking problem. I just don't drink enough water ever, so walk around dehydrated
I have
all the time.
Problem.
Yeah, it really annoys Sarah. She's over here drinking like a gallon and a half. She's like, "Can't you drink like 8 ounces?" I'm like, I drink like 24 ounces of coffee.
That's got 8 ounces of water in it. I'm going to say that, but
that's got at least 8 ounces of water. So Patrick, what is the Janchi Show? Why do we call ourselves the Janchi Show? What are we doing here?
The Janchi Show is a podcast all about the Asian adoptee experience, and that's what we talk about. And it's called the Janchi Show because that is the Korean word for feast or to banquet. And in addition to feasting and banqueting on the experiences that we all share and have differing experiences of, we also feast on a Korean snack, drink, or some other item at the end of the show. And we have a lot of fun when we do that. And I don't remember what your last question was.
No, that's.
You asked me 3 things, and I was going to finish it out with a 3rd thing, and I forgot.
I think it was who. I don't even remember what I asked. Who are we? What's the Janchi Show, and what are we doing here?
Oh, what are we doing here? Yeah, I think I probably covered it.
Yeah, you covered it.
That's what we're doing here today.
Speaking of feasting, it's not a Korean snack. It's made by my local grocery store, HEB, but semi-local. But there is a bag of chips called Korean barbecue chips that I was going to eat. But now that I've remembered that Nathan's coming in town on Friday, I'm going to save them and we can share them. Experience it together, leg to leg.
Mail me one.
I will mail you a single chip.
Single chip. I've been eating the Hot Ones Pringles collaboration chips.
Are they good?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Caliente.
They're real good.
That one's really good.
That's the hot one. Yeah, I think, right?
The Verde's a good one, yeah.
The Verde, actually, I think might be hotter.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty, though. It's definitely was a surprise, though, from Pringles, for sure. Really,
it's a spicy chip.
Yeah, it's not just a spicy chip. It's a really spicy chip.
It is.
It's got a kick. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yes. Well, let me refer to our notes because I sent you the.
And by notes, he means text message that he sent us earlier in the day.
Oh no, it's not even on my phone. Somebody tell me what we're talking about today.
I think you wanted to briefly talk about something you heard on Patrick's other podcast.
You
more
said that
successful
so
and frequent podcast.
Aggressively.
upsetly. Yeah.
Now we are referencing other podcasts, including our own co-host. But yes, no, it's you talk a lot with a lot of creators and have a lot of good conversations. So this is not, I am not surprised. But yeah, you were saying that you had heard something about
Oh yeah, Patrick
Patrick is
hates
saying something about
Korea.
his relationship with Korea, and I think we
Yeah,
briefly
he
talked about it
straight
in
up
the past
hates
as
it.
well. Yeah,
He was just
I
like,
mean, if
Korea,
he has some hot
are
takes.
nothing to me. You're less.
if you watch that
I'm
clip,
just kidding.
I would not be surprised if you were like, I don't think this guy cares much for the country of Korea.
I mean, listen,
I mean, it's valid. I think I gave him
as a
valid reason, but
fellow American who's also pretty pissed off at his country right now, I understand being pissed off at a country. So,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I wouldn't say you, I wouldn't say you hate Korea.
Uh,
Yeah, no, yeah, there is that, and I think it just ties into kind of this. I've been having like a big Korean moment lately. Obviously with my daughter turning 1, which I think by the time this episode comes out, she will have already done so. So happy birthday to my daughter when you listen to this in 6 years. But I've been having a Korean moment. So obviously we're doing some like Korean-y things for her. K-pop Demon Hunters blew up the world and was like really cool. And then I am watching this show on Netflix called XO Kitty, which is a spinoff of To All the Boys I Loved Before, but it's about like a half Korean, half white girl going to Korea to try to reconnect with her mother who has passed away and like basically get in touch with her family. So it's like very adoptee adjacent, but she's not an adoptee unless she is sort of. I don't know. We'll get into it. But then, yeah, so just like a lot of Korean stuff. And then I stumbled across this clip of Patrick talking on his other podcast where he was like, the person asked you, like, how do you feel about Korea? And I don't really know the context of the question beyond just like, how do you feel about Korea?
it was
And then you were
basically
like,
no.
I'm pretty angry about it.
Yeah, she asked me, "What do I love about Korea?"
Oh,
And
yeah. And then you said, I keep it kind of at an arm's length away.
yeah. And the context of the question was just, I was being interviewed by my
Yeah.
friend Madeline, and she was just asking me a lot of questions about my story. And for a lot of people that listen to this show, is nothing new. But
Yeah.
for listeners of the other show, it might be a little bit new because I don't talk about, I mean, I bring it up, but it's not like the focus of the show. Um, but anyways, she asked me what I loved about the country, and I said that at the moment when I think about Korea, I get really angry because of everything that's coming out about the adoption system and just my own relationship with all of that. But then, like, all of the stories that we continue to see coming out in the news right now about other adoptees and how they're coming to it for the first time, and like the people who are just coming to it are like the ones finding a ton of fraud and abuse, in addition to the 400 people at the cases that they were already investigating. And yeah, I just feel like when in that moment, I was definitely like, I only get angry when I think about the country as a whole because I really don't have much of a relationship, anyways. Like, I already struggle to connect with Korean culture. I'm still struggling with that, especially now as a parent, but also like proximity wise and like literally spending time in the country of Korea itself. Like, I've got 3 weeks of 35 years of my life. So not a ton of time. So like it's also in the context of like there's not a lot there. Um
Yeah.
but I think when she asked me that question, I was just like, yeah, that's like oh, actually, I had just been sent an article by Liz Kleinrock, or it was either Liz or it was Alicia Bennett. One of them sent an article about an adoptee who was like discovering these things and going through this process that had just come out, and I was literally reading it as I was walking into the studio to record this conversation. So it was really fresh in my mind as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought it was so interesting because I think that that's not an atypical response for adoptees to
For sure.
have. Like, I mean, maybe it's atypical that their country of origin has like done them super dirty. Maybe it's not. Maybe that is part of typical part of the fabric of adoption, but international adoption. But like, it was just interesting because like at the same time that I feel like I've been thinking about Korea, trying to dig into like what part of culture and tradition do I care about trying to integrate into my own story? And then like everybody being like, oh, K-pop demon hunters and all that kind of stuff, I
Yeah.
like to hear an adoptee be like, yeah, honestly, I'm pretty mad at this country, when I feel like I had just gotten over being mad at Korea and like being like, all right, I think I can like figure this out.
Yeah.
Like that was, it was just interesting to hear that and just kind of wrestle with like, this is the reality of what it means to be adopted internationally, and just kind of deal with like a country who you share so much with and share so little with at the same time. So
Yeah.
it just really highlighted like kind of the ongoing adoptee-ness for me, because I don't feel like I've been in that space and in that headspace, especially, but especially as I'm kind of like reflecting on a year of parenthood, and some of the conversations that my wife and I have had. It was really like, oh yeah, it was like really gave me a good sense of like rounding out kind of the whole experience. Yeah, Nathan, what about you? Like, what's your like how would you, I guess, to the similar point, like how would you frame your relationship with Korea right now?
It's important, I think, the way you frame that too, because you did say, how do I feel about it at this moment?
Yeah.
Because that has changed from 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 5 years ago. I definitely have changed my opinion on different emotions and feelings and everything. And just like I have with, say, our own country, been, happy to be an American, and then things happen and sometimes you're not happy about it and you're scared. And so, yeah, that's kind of, I have a similar feeling with the Korea. I didn't want anything to do with it a long time ago. I didn't want to identify as Korean, and then now that more of my exploration and you know, reckoning and whatever you want to call the apocalypse and everything has changed my opinions of it. And then finding my birth family and reunion went into, a whole nother search of acceptance. And because I had a connection now, it made me want to discover more. It made me want to learn about the culture, to learn more about them. And then, of course, starting our podcast. And I know this isn't your question because you asked how do I feel about it now, and I'm going through the whole timeline. But yeah, it definitely has changed, and it's gotten to the point where I guess now, with all the current news and everything, I dislike what they have done. I dislike the history. And just like any country, the politics can go up and down. But as far as the Korean, and I guess just, I mean, we're not talking about the country, if we're just talking about the culture, that part I still love. I think I still love thinking about Korea and wanting to know more and wanting to find out more for not just myself, but for my family, because that's never going to change. I'm never going to not be Korean. And so I think I'm looking past the the mistakes that had happened and hope that they correct them, just like the mistakes a lot of countries have made, and hopefully those
Except for America.
stuff.
America has made no mistakes.
Yeah, none at all. They're
I
clean
mean, I'm
record.
pretty sure it's what it says in the history books. It just
Yeah,
says
no mistakes.
all good.
Constant upward trajectory.
Yeah.
Everybody of every race agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that so when I was answering that question, like again, like that article was really fresh in my mind, and obviously all this stuff, like in context of like the largerness of it, was all fresh in my mind. I think something I wasn't thinking about was like you just talked about connecting to culture and loving the culture, and I think like something I've really only been able to articulate on the show, and even when I tell people in person that I struggle to connect with Korean culture, I feel like people don't really understand what that means. And even sometimes I feel like when I say it out loud to other adoptees, I feel like they don't understand what it means, kind of. But I feel like they also do get it. But I feel like it's hard to explain like why I struggle so much to even do that, uh, do those parts, like the little things. And I think one thing that I do love about Korea right now, or even in this moment in time, is like the way they, the people of Korea, could have or did model for the world what it looks like to stand up to like a government takeover that we may or may not be experiencing currently in our in this moment in America.
No
Um,
mistakes. Perfect
but
country.
that whole part is just it just cut away. But I think that's something. If I were to answer that question again, I think I would want to also add, like, when I am critiquing, when I say I'm mad at Korea, it's really like the system that allowed for the perpetuation of abuse of children, of mothers, of families, like in the country itself. And then those people who are rallying together to say, hey, President Yoon, fuck you, you're not doing this, and like succeeding in that, those are our like family members, our ancestors, people from our communities, like the things that we lost, like those are also those people. And those are the people who, like, I personally would love to believe would have said, no, fuck that. Like, about adopting your kid away for whatever reason,
Mhm.
even if it was quote unquote a good reason. Like, and so I think I really like that. And again, I've only spent a total of 3 weeks in the country itself to experience the people themselves in that way. And I can't say that I really thought that while I was there, because I was also going through my own individual, personal, internal shit. But when I take a bigger step back and like a wider perspective of it all, I want to say, yes, I am very mad. And I am also kind of really proud that I come from a lineage of people that, or I come from a community and a group of people that are down to do that. And I think when I think about how I always first identify as Asian American now instead of Korean, like that part of me makes me really proud to be Korean. And like
Mm.
The Asian American like aspect of it, I was just guested on another podcast and they asked me like, what does being Asian mean to you? And I I said it was resistance. It just means resistance. And I think about where the term came from and yada yada. I've shared this all up before a lot of times, but um like that's what I think about when I think about what the people are doing or people just did in the country now. And that's something that I really love. So I like emulate that behavior and that mindset here now as a like model for my kid. So I don't know if
Well,
I said anything there, but
I mean, I heard you say
that's
you
what
want
I
to be a
needed to
model
say.
minority for your kids, so that's what I heard you say.
I want to be the modelist minority for my child,
I want.
so then he can be the modelist minority.
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up. I mean, it's not funny. It obviously makes sense given the current climate of in which we live. But like the idea of resistance and like the Korean history of that. I was recently reminded, well, not reminded, like lightly educated in a podcast that I was listening to about the history of South Asians and their
Mm,
resistance and like in the context of like it was a two college professors talking to each other and the one who was being interviewed said yeah my students, a lot of them this year took my core or this last year took my class just to like and they said like I kind of just took it as a way to escape what's going on in America. That's why they took history of South Asia. And then they were like, oh wait, actually there's like a lot of stuff that we can learn from other countries. And so it was kind of like, whereas before there was this whole like American exceptionalism, now young students, college students are like, wait, if we like stop looking at just ourselves and thinking about ourselves as like the greatest country on the planet, then like we could like learn a lot about resistance and change and organizing and all that kind of stuff and fighting authoritarianism and all that kind of stuff. And it was just interesting, like to hear that, be reminded of that. And I was reminded as you were talking of one of the things that ChatGPT told me that I could do for Minji's Doljanchi, which is like, that's how you know I'm adopted, is because I asked an AI to tell me about Korean culture because I don't have any Koreans to talk to. But it was like, oh yeah, you could like have a thing that like honors your ancestors. And I don't remember if I sent this to you guys, but I sent this to my my Dallas adoptee group chat. And I was like, the urge in me to just like print out some like avatars with question marks over their faces and just be like in honor of my ancestors, but it's just like a big question mark is so strong. Because a lot of
Oh
them
my
won't be there,
God.
and it's like an in joke for adoptees and make everybody else feel lightly uncomfortable. But
Totally.
in in uh in classic Stephanie Dranka form, previous guest, friend of the show, who is so steeped in history and knowledge and is also just very graceful. She was like, "Oh yeah, you should pick this person if you wanted to do that." And it was like a Korean rights activist, like a civil rights activist. And it was a gentle reminder that like, it's not that I don't have, like, just because I'm removed from my like direct family lineage doesn't mean I don't have ancestors, and doesn't mean I come from
Fire.
nowhere, and it doesn't mean
Mhm.
that like we don't share that same Han, that same Jong, that same all of that with the country that we're from, even
Yeah.
so, even while we may be angry at honestly both countries for their politics and systems that they've let
Mhm.
like continue, there are still things to be proud of, I guess, for both countries. I don't really know what that looks like in American culture, because American culture is like means nothing to me right now. But yeah, I was just like, oh man, there's a lot to dig in there. And that like brings me to the interesting thing of like K-pop demon huntersness of it all. It reminded me that Korea is a really old country, like thousands of years old.
Bro,
And
right?
it was like, oh, this is rich and beautiful and whatever. And what's interesting too is, and I was listening to an interview with a co-creator, and she was like, and it was by Jeff Yang and Phil Yu, and so it was like just a bunch of like Asians who live in North America chatting. And they were like, yeah, this could only be like a diasporic point of view, because the bits of Korean culture that were put together for the movie, most native Koreans would be like, we don't think of like the demons like this, or we don't think of like the shamans like this. Like, why would you put these things together? And here's this diasporic Korean who's like, yeah, I don't care. It's just a cool story. And it's like, is interesting, and it like works for the greater story of what we want to tell, and all that kind of stuff. Not I don't care, but I was like, kind of like I don't care. And it
Yeah.
again like was like, yeah, we can make of our origin what we want, and like that's totally allowed and valid as a part of the broader diaspora of Koreans, or whatever, as adoptees, international adoptees. And that
Yeah.
was really interesting to me.
Well, some people like literally may never know their true origin. So you kind of only have the choice to
Yeah.
make it up, like, and
Mhm.
define it for yourself. Like, and that's a very unique thing to adopted people. Like, I don't know of any other group that could really say well, I guess displaced and enslaved African people, I suppose, and indigenous people. Never mind. Not unique to us,
Wait,
but
you're like, wait, I found two people. Never mind.
never mind. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I think about that all the time. And for some people I've even heard them share, like, even after they enter reunion with like a birth parent, like they still question the veracity of the truth that they're hearing from said birth parent. Not all the time. I think that's rarer, but I've heard that. It's like, is this really the truth? And I think at the end of the day, it's like profoundly sad that even if you can get that connection, like, can you really truly trust like this is what it is? So I'm saying that because of like, yeah, you got to just write it, like fucking define it for yourself.
Yeah, it just feels like cheating, or like I'm doing something wrong. You're like, wait, so I just
Or
sorry.
cheating by making it up. Well, no, you're
Yes,
cheating by asking
Patrick just
ChatGPT.
no. Okay. No, I mean cheating by just like the idea of just cherry picking what I want and combining it in ways that I know that that's maybe arguably all that history is we cherry pick the
Yeah,
best
I
bits
was gonna
and
say.
say this is what happened. But I think because of, and maybe this is it too, because of all of the pushback by historians and by people, sociologists who just like want to think broadly and complexly about things, like they're like, well, yeah, I mean, like history might be written by the victors, but there are alternative histories and like things that we specifically tried to hide or whatever, for all this kind of. And so I'm like, well, can I just pick and choose how I get to be Korean. Like, is that allowed? But you're right. There's no like rule book for what it means to be Korean besides just that like you're alive and have Korean in your blood.
Yeah. And
I don't
in
know.
addition to that, as you know, we have all have our opinions. I assume this is hopefully already assumed, but there is no right or wrong opinion on how you feel about Korea too.
Are you serious?
Shut up.
Nathan,
But
you're
no,
gonna
I
get us
mean,
canceled. There's for sure a right or wrong.
That's the
But you're-
wrong way.
That's the wrong way to think about it. Sorry.
Yeah, what you just
I'm
said.
wrong about saying I'm right or wrong.
Oh.
But I think because I hear a lot. I hear a lot of people who dislike what's happened to them and talk about it very strongly and firmly. And then I know a lot of people who are reclaiming their identities by living in Korea and just immersing themselves in the culture, the government, the politics, everything, the families that they've maybe reconnected with. So it's interesting to see the diverse like spectrum of how people, adoptees specifically, are going through this feelings toward Korea. Maybe you still are there and you still have feelings against. I mean, you can easily, that can be true, to live there but hate everything that you've heard or find or things like that. So yeah, it's very broad, and so yeah. I hope
Nathan,
no one
I'm sure
who's
of-
listening thinks that we're just saying
Yeah.
you should feel this way. So
For sure.
I'm sure I've asked you this before, Nathan, but how do you and Allison navigate the East Asian triumvirate that your kids are, and like picking and choosing culture from all three countries to integrate into your family and like your own family's traditions?
we ask ChatGPT.
All right. All right.
Kidding.
And that's
No,
the show.
I mean, it's like you said, we kind of, and we've talked about it kind of in the past too, about traditions and things that we hear about and like that, Allison's family has done from her side. And then what I see as what I think Koreans do for the Korean side. And so we don't do everything. We pick and choose what we want to do and make our own traditions based on that. We have some friends we have Korean friends in the neighborhood, Chinese friends, Japanese friends. So, we sometimes ask, things that they do or look online and get inspiration from things we read. But yeah.
Oh, so you do ask ChatGPT?
In a way, I was not completely joking.
Look online is
before it was called AI. It was called
Google.
Oh.
It was called Bing. It's called DuckDuckGo.
Not that old.
Ask Jeeves.
Yes, Ask Jeeves. There we go. That's more like it.
Go to the encyclopedia. S for Solal.
No, so yeah, I mean, we pick and choose, and it's what makes whatever right for your own family and for what you feel you want to do and have time for and capacity for, because there's so much you could do. I mean,
yeah.
So it's and even within the culture, I'm sure there's variations of any of those things. Greatly depending on which family you talk to.
Yeah,
I can't even
that's
pick
like
one culture, let alone I can't even imagine trying to do three. Can't even pick things from a single culture. How am I supposed to pick from three? So power to you guys for doing that.
Oh shoot, I don't remember what I was gonna say, but
My bad.
That's okay. I was probably just some joke, but we're watching. Sarah and I are watching Exo Kitty, which is a spinoff of To All the Boys I Loved Before. Anyway, so friend who is living in, or middle sister who's living in Korea, right? And we just watched the episode on Solal, and there was like a night market, and they were like playing all these games, and Sarah they'd cut to a game, and Sarah would be like, "Oh, do you know what that is?" I'd be like, "No." And then next clip, they'd cut to another game, and Sarah would be like, "Do you know what that is?" I'd be like, "No." And third time, Sarah was like, "Do you know what that game is?" I'm like, "Girl, I am adopted." like you have met my family.
We know each other.
Yeah, it's like we've been married for many years. It's just like very funny because like I think especially because like we do know a little bit about like how Koreans celebrate New Year. Like would they play like Ghost Stop and they eat these? She'd be like, "Oh, look, dokguk, like that's the soup that we, like all that stuff." And
Yeah.
so like she's drawing those things, but then she'd look over to me like, "Do you know what that is?" I'm like, "No, I'm experiencing this just like you are."
Is that the Lana Condor one?
It's the one. It's a spinoff of that one.
So she's not the main person?
No,
Oh. Well, Lana Condor is an adoptee, so
I know. Yeah. But it's interesting. It's interesting because like, yeah, so her sister, like Annika, like in the story, the family is mixed. So the dad is white and the mom is Korean. Mom has passed away. So Lana Condor has this whole thing. Like that's her to all the boys I've loved before. But the middle sister is like, oh, I want to go to Korea, reconnect with my mom's roots and whatever. So there are like a lot of really interesting, like, I'm here to connect with my family. I don't have any history. And the character literally says in one episode, she's like, when I'm here, I feel like I'm closer to my mom. I'm like literally like it's a special part of like my family's history to like get to be here, and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, that's I guess how I would feel if I had any sense of who my biological parents were. But I think like in the brief time, you said, I spent 3 weeks there. I spent 10 days there. And in the
sure.
brief time that I was there, I was like, this feels good. Like grounding in a unique kind of way. Um so yeah, like I get that. And I think there are a lot of themes, but maybe just broadly like diasporic Asian themes. It's not even about adoption, but like
Mm,
there is kind of that. I think because she doesn't have her mom with her anymore is where you get some of the adoption-ness of it. But yeah, so it's just like, oh yeah, this like really resonates with me in kind of a unique way.
yeah.
So, question, KJ, with your abundance of K-pop
Careful now.
dramas and time
K-pop dramas.
that you've been watching these shows, because obviously it's a lot more than I've seen.
Same.
Is there a reason for that? Is there a reason or inspiration behind watching all of these films or dramas, or even say listen to Korean music?
Oh yeah. So that part's really like I just like culture. Just world cultures in general. So kind of a boring answer, I guess. But recently my coworker was like, I need some new music. What are you listening to? And I said, like, oh, I'm listening to Loive, who is a Chinese Icelandic smooth jazz singer. And if you're not into that, you can listen to Meut, who are I think from the Netherlands, who are like a marching band that play EDM music. If you want some like electronica stuff, you could listen to Stromae, who is from Belgium, who like just produces like this like fire like EDM stuff. That's like really interesting. So I just like, and then there's like K-pop, like yeah, K-pop and J-pop and all that kind of stuff. So I just listen to. I love listening to music from around the world because I think it's inspiring and wonderful. And to like being able to watch, like I pick K dramas because they are exposure to language and culture and like ideas in their mind. But I watch a lot of like anime as well, so I get to like draw comparisons to like Japanese and Korean culture, obviously through the lens of an anime. So there's like a lot of translation that has to happen because like it's not like Japanese people are being reincarnated and fighting in medieval lands, but fighting off dragons. But like there's still like some of the underlying sense of like Japanese values and systems and things. And so I think K dramas, like when I have time for them, give you some of that underlying sense of like value and like interpersonal relationships. And then also just like hearing like, oh, I hear Korean phrase that I know, but it's conjugated differently, which means that implies things about the relationship, or like I don't even know what that conjugation is, or any of that kind of stuff. So I think like just being like exposing myself to that just like broadens my ability to listen, to comprehend like all of that. And I'm always going to pick Korean stuff because I'm Korean and I want to be connected to that in some way. I think just so that I have a more robust offering of what I get to pick and choose from, instead of just being like, ChatGPT, tell me how to be Korean, and then I'll choose what feels good to me.
You should
So
do
yeah, so
this.
I think that that's why.
Okay. Yeah. Patrick, are you doing anything or wanting to do anything to connect with that side of Korean culture? Or is there anything you would like to do to change your opinion on the Korean government? Because I know since you're an advocate for stuff here, is that taking up most of your time? I mean, that would be hard to be doing two countries in a way. But like, for example, here's a question that kind of is relatable for both countries with the
Hit me.
current status of deportations and immigration laws that are potentially changing and stuff like that. What ideas would you have or opinions on the Korean government for their side of it? So, how can they help with things that are happening over here if, say, there are Koreans being deported over to Korea that maybe would be different from, what they have been doing in the past?
I think I mean, I guess I am probably not knowledgeable enough about what they would provide, what they provide should that happen. But as far as I'm aware, in the past when it's happened, they don't provide very much.
Mm.
And I mean, I think like if we're being real, if we're okay, if we're living ideally, I would love for them to obviously offer like a full bevy of like support, like options for somebody who was being deported back to Korea, regardless if they were adopted or not.
Right.
Um, I think for adoptees, I want to say it's a special case, and maybe it's not, but I think if that, because again, like here's the thing, like if we can't live ideally, because we have to live in reality, and in reality, like the people who are being deported are labeled as criminals, and the Korean government will see them, continue to see them as such. And I don't
Right.
think they're going to do their own assessment of each person that's getting sent back to Korea, should that happen. Now, do I think the Korean government would establish that kind of relationship? I don't think so. I don't think that they, quote unquote, would want accept criminals back into their country or into their country if they're not even from Korea. But I think first and foremost, it's got to be like uh, just providing support in whatever form that looks like. I mean, in adoptee cases, like we're already seeing a lot of not, or I don't know. It just seems like this transfer of records that's happening with the NCRC and stuff is not like going super well and
Yeah.
whatnot. It's not very transparent, and I feel like if they were going to do anything, if you were going to, while you were digitizing and transferring all these records, like you would be transparent about that. But obviously not. That's not been the case. And I think while it's happening, they've put the investigations on hold for the other, like the 400 cases that they were investigating, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, or something's going on with that. Maybe it's because of what's happening in at the like the top of the government. I don't know, but I don't think I really gave a good answer other than I would
No,
love to
I
see
mean
them
it's a
provide
it's a
extra
very
support.
specific topic. I'm just not sure if I was just curious if you had gone or learned anything with all your interviews or people that you've talked to about it. It's because it's something that's been on my mind when I've talked to a couple people out here, and then just like, for example, I don't want to travel internationally because what if for some reason, there's a, I don't know,
You
an
get sent
unpaid
back to
parking
China.
ticket or something that they're like, oh, you didn't pay this, you're not getting back in the country. I
Sure.
know that's an extreme example, but there are people, I am assuming, that have either incorrect records or other things that have always have talked about with ACA, the and just trying to get by and not be deported. I think there's a
Yeah.
real fear of that. So
So I would say if that were to be happen to me, and this is now me saying this is what I would want for myself, and then by extension anybody who would go through the situation, I would want the Korean government to facilitate the transfer of my wife and child to Korea. I would want them to provide furnished housing and some other form of living support,
Hmm.
transportation support, whatever the case is, while for like up to 3 months or however 6 months. I don't know how long that would look like as you appeal that process. Um, but if that were to happen to me, I don't know if I want to go back to America. So that's why I would be like, hey, wife and child, you got to come over
Yeah.
here now.
I mean,
And I would
yeah.
want them to like support me in doing this, in doing that. So I think were that to happen to anyone, I think the bare minimum would be, can we get your wife and kid, like, can we get your immediate family
Yeah.
members connected with you or whatever that kind of support looks like. And I will say, based on like what has happened with like Adam Krapser and other people who have been actually deported as Korean adoptees from the America back to Korea, it does not seem like that they do that. So
Hmm.
again, ideally for myself, I would want that, and I would hope that that would be the same level of support given to other people that experienced it. But historically, I don't think that that's what we've seen. So
Hmm. Sorry for the tangent. It's just a random question I
it's
had
all
in my
good.
mind.
It's all relevant, I think. I mean, it
Yeah.
goes to like why I'm upset, like when I think about
Yeah.
Korea. And so, like, if you could not tell while I was responding to that, like I was giving my
Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
like that, it's
Well, it's
like
just
it's
governments
just
in
frustrating.
general.
It's like yeah, it's just
Governments are there to
frustrating.
help you, right? I mean, that's literally what governments are there for. And so when you hear when governments are not doing that, whatever government it is, it is frustrating.
Who knows what be happening? Just trying to live my
Yeah.
Yeah.
life, just trying to figure out how to best raise my kid. I'm tired. I feel what I said on that podcast. She One of the questions she asked me was how I was doing, and I said I'm extremely tired. And at the same time, I'm also inspired by a lot of people that I'm connected with, a lot of people that I
Mm,
see out doing things. Like, I'm tired from being a parent. I'm tired from being an entrepreneur. I'm tired of being like doing a
hmm.
bunch of stuff. I'm also tired of the shit happening in the world, the stuff outside of my control.
Yeah.
Um, and in addition to all of that, I am inspired by people who like do really incredible things every day in their local communities. I could run off a bunch of names here in Indianapolis, but like in our community, like I know Liz probably wouldn't want to be shouted out in this way, but I'll shout out Liz because of what she does in her local community that inspires me constantly. Shout out to like Sana, what she does in Memphis, not just for adoptees, but for the Asian American community there. Like, there's a lot of people who are doing really awesome things, and that powers me through uh like the fucking shit and mire that
Hmm.
comes with everything else. Not parenthood, but parenthood's great. Number one.
Parenthood is great. Everything else, it's just exhausting. Everything else
Number
is a
one.
lot.
Changing diapers.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like one of the things. Like, I'm so grateful to be connected to Stephanie and what she's
Oh
doing
yeah.
here
Yeah,
in
Stephanie.
Dallas. She just opened the Museum of Asian Texans for Asian
I saw
Texans,
that.
which is just so cool. And it's been a real privilege to get a front row seat to what she's been up to and be like, hey, I can't really like be there time wise. And she's like, I totally get it. And so I'm just like, take my money.
Yeah.
But and I think too, like even like outside of political stuff, just seeing Khan continue to grow and thrive and like continue to try to find ways to support parts of the community. I don't know if the overseas meetup is like a new thing or if they've done it before, but it's the first time I'm seeing it, and I think that that's really cool to be like, hey, we recognize that there's like a bunch of you that are overseas in Korea, and like as a part of like kind of our mission, like we want to meet you literally where you're at. And I know that's part of the idea for moving the conference around, every so often and all that kind of stuff to meet people where they're at. And it's just like, it while I'm doing my best to be a good parent and while I am, to quote Fannie Lou Hamer, sick and tired of being sick and tired, like it's so good to see these people and these organizations doing good work,
Hmm.
and
Yeah. I
continue
mean,
to fight.
with that theme too for next year for Con is, resilience and reckoning, which, goes kind of along with what we're talking about. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%. Um, there is a lot of other things that I could probably talk to you guys about around this kind of topic. I do just want to say kind of quickly before we go to the snack that I think my wife and my sister-in-law are planning a Taylor Swift listening party or launch party for her latest album, and Olivia will be present at that for. And one of the things that always sticks out of my mind is Patrick, you and Emily, you brought up on the show that you and Emily were having conversations around like what Emily's culture is, what white culture is, and how you integrate that. And I'm like, they got it down. They know exactly what the white culture is that they want to cherry pluck, and they're bringing Minji right into it. So that's really fun.
That is hilarious. We don't. I don't think we do that part of the white culture here, unfortunately. Shout out T Swift and the Swifties, but
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Swifties. So yeah. Anyways, I was like, man, I'm glad that they have a strong sense of who they are and are doing that and bringing a lot of joy from that perspective.
for sure.
So yeah, all right, let's jump to a food or drink item right now.
Welcome back to the Janchi Show, food portion of our show. Well, some of us may be food portioning.
I'm gonna
It's
eat
hard.
something.
If you've listened to the show,
It's not hard to eat food.
No, but it's hard
easy.
to keep these things unexpired.
That's not the reason.
or not eaten before we record a show, I think. Because I admit, I have looked at our snacks before and said, oh, I have to wait until we record to eat this. And sometimes it's been hard, but today's snack is a cookie made by Crown. And I guess I could get ChatGPT to translate it for me, but the English on the back says waffle biscuit sandwich, apple flavor. So that's what I think it is. Made by Crown.
Sounds pretty good.
It looks like it kind of looks like a little apple pie, right? With the weave on the top
it's
of
got
the cookie.
Yeah. I mean, the Korean just says waffle sand. So I guess that's the waffle sandwich, and then it's got apples on it. So there you
flavor,
go.
Yeah.
Apple waffle sandwich.
Yeah, I don't know.
Apple waffle sandwich cookie. Apple waffle sandwich is like really hard to say.
Apple waffle sandwich cookie.
Yeah, I mean, it smells good. There's like 6 in a package.
Patrick, what have you brought to the table?
All right, so I have this basket of things here, and I'm going to eat one of the things out of it. And I think the basket accidentally replaced the previous Korean snacks okay, your faces. I need responses now. I'm going to interrupt myself and ask for your initial reactions.
I just got like 1,000% more apple than I thought.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised as well.
Really just like attacked me.
I mean,
it's aggressive.
I can't think of eating anything that's been apple flavor other than an apple.
And be like so aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Like even more than applesauce.
Yeah, totally. And it's a good cookie. I mean, the cracker part of it is.
The biscuit is excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that is hilarious, and I'm furious now that I don't have this.
You probably already ate them, or somebody ate them.
You probably you would love
them.
This is what
Van's been eating them.
No, because this actually goes along with our conversation for today. So this basket of stuff that I have, I think, has ended up replacing the previous stuff that you had sent me. And this basket comes from somebody that I did an event with here in Indianapolis. And long story short, this person, for some reason, felt like they needed to get me a gift for having done this. And so they went and scoured the Asian markets here in Indianapolis to put together Korean snacks for me.
Nice.
And this is a well-meaning white person, um, and I like received the gift with gratitude, but I could not help thinking, why would you do this when you don't know anything about my relationship to Korean culture? Like, what made you think that this was the appropriate gift
ChatGPT.
to give me? It probably was. And
What
now,
gift can I give an
and now
adoptee who
I'm
likes
even more
snacks?
furious because it has taken the ability from me to eat this apple waffle sandwich cookie.
Yeah.
And I am mad.
Okay,
I
so
am
what I want
actually
to
mad.
know, is, did you receive the gift with two hands and bow and say,
No,
"Oh, 감사합니다"?
no, absolutely not.
Have you been eating a lot of the snacks?
I only ate one thing out of here. And I don't remember
Oh,
what it
only one
was.
thing.
I don't even remember what the thing was.
Maybe they did some research and they were like, "Oh, he's Korean. I know this because of the Janchi show. I'll get him Korean
Yeah.
snacks." And gift giving is a big in Korean culture. Emphasis on he's Korean.
Yeah.
Let me just give this gift to him and not
Maybe
listen to
they
any
did
of the
some
podcast.
research. Oh,
Yeah.
he's Korean.
He has this Korean podcast called
It's
the
like
Janchi
And
Show.
any gift is better than
First
no
thing.
gift in her mind.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Whoa, he didn't
It
say
was
a gender.
just.
Was it a female?
Oh, sorry.
I don't
Somebody.
know if they listen to this show.
Yes.
So they
That's-
they
Alright.
very well may.
So there you
I
go.
would not be surprised. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
being
yeah,
pretty
there you
vague
go.
about who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That's fine. Moving on. Maybe you'll find this snack in your pantry,
I'm
the one
eating
that
this.
you were supposed
I'm
to
eating the
have.
popping candy.
This
Wait,
pop-
I
I
need
hope I
to
do.
Good.
I need to double down on well-meaning white person because that is also my sister-in-law in a really lovely way. So one of the things that they are gonna do for the Minji's first birthday is they're like doing Korean snacks and things. So they went to our Zion market. They didn't take me with them, didn't like FaceTime me or anything. And they were just like, "Oh, let me just like buy a bunch of things that look good." They send me a picture. I'm like, half of your table is Japanese, but I appreciate the effort. And those are good, and half is Japanese. I was just like, A for effort. It was awesome. Your face,
My mother-in-law, just so you know, it's not just white,
sure.
people giving gifts. My mother-in-law gave me the snack pack of Korean items from Amazon, I believe.
Maybe that's what.
Yeah, it's like
Is that what you got?
Packaged thing, and I got it from Amazon, and it had a bunch of like Korean snacks in it. But
Like a
so she
knockoff
did
Hello
that.
Korea box?
Kind of, yes, totally knockoff. Yeah. But back to these current cookies. I like these a lot. I'm just gonna roll right into my rating. It's not overly sweet. It's not too artificially apple. Like the apple is a good flavor, and it's very like apple. Like it's apple. I like it. I'm giving it a 5. So 5 out of 5.
You know it's Apple. That should be the title of the episode.
It's apple.
You know
Like
it's
if
Apple.
if I was a blind taste test and someone gave me this, I would say apple. This is an apple cookie, which is crazy
Okay.
because I've never had an apple cookie before.
But have you had an apple waffle? Yeah, apple
No,
waffle.
not an apple waffle.
What's wild is I think Korean apples are a thing, right? Or am I making that up?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ask
Ask ChatGPT about it later. But it hits like a pear. Like I know it doesn't have obviously like any of the like it's not the fruit, right? But like when I bite into it, something about the flavor reminds me of the texture of a pear. I know Korean pears
Interesting.
are a thing, but it tastes like apple. So it's like it's really man, Patrick, I'm really bummed actually that you can't experience it because the flavor tastes like apple throughout, but the texture, and this is not related to the texture of the actual cookie. So this is like insane that I'm even saying this. But if you imagine just the flavor having texture, it starts pear texture and ends cotton candy.
Okay. Interesting.
Like, and Nathan, I don't know if you're feeling that at all, but that's how it's
Cotton
hitting
candy.
my mouth. It opens with like, oh, I just bit into a pear, but it is apple flavored, and then it finishes like cotton candy. Like just sits on the back of my mouth like a nice like cotton candy.
A tad. I'd say I give it a tad pear, but
Okay.
Pear is usually kind of subtle that it's hard to.
Yeah, it's not the flavor of pear. It
Yeah.
just feels like I bit into a pear, which
Mhm.
it's like it's just the most insane thing I've ever said. Trying one of these Korean food items. So
Cotton candy.
yeah.
Okay, I see that now that you've said that. I can see it.
I don't know, Patrick. What are you eating? How does it make you feel? Is it taking you on a wild texture ride?
I guess kind of. I ate a frosted cookie sticks popping candy, and it is not lying by Hoppy, and it is not lying. That is definitely made of popping candy, like the Pop Rocks. And so every bite was a crackling sensation in my ears because I have my noise cancellation on, and I did not enjoy it. But the candy itself was very good. 4 stars.
Is it? What is it like? It's a
It's
stick.
just like a
So it's just like a whatever stick
kind
with
of like
chocolate,
like
and
a
then
breadstick, like that you do like the Dunkaroos, like type of thing, like
yeah.
that kind of stick with chocolate on it, and then Pop Rocks under the chocolate.
Okay, so imagine like Pocky or whatever. What's the Korean version of
Yes,
that?
yeah, Pepero.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
thicker Pepero with popping candy, Pop Rock
Yeah.
candy.
Interesting. Is it
I've
milk
had those
chocolate?
before. They're really good. I like them.
Yes, milk chocolate.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Speaking of popping candy, I recently had an ice cream that had popping candy in it. That was different.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it as a kid, but like, it's just, I mean, it's too much. The popping. It's too much popping. What's
There's
with the
too
popping?
much party in my mouth.
I do kind of feel like a curmudgeonly old man, just like,
Yeah, I was like,
there's
I liked
too
it as a
much
kid, but
popping.
now I'm a Grinch. I'm a straight
too
up
aggressive.
Scrooge.
I kind
Get
of
off
did
my
think that the whole
lawn.
time I was eating it. I was like, it's kind of interrupting. I can't hear what you guys are saying over the popping in my ears. I was just getting
Turn
kinda
that
mad.
music down.
Those kids.
It is how I felt, kind of. I was just like, I wish this was over. I'm like, I wish I had the apple
I
waffle.
wish this was
Close your mouth
over.
when you chew.
I already say that, so I didn't need to
Wild.
get. I've been saying that for years. But I mean, I guess it's a Korean thing, so it makes sense why I'm just be out there chopping.
All right. So then, cotton candy finish. What would you rate it then, KJ?
I would give it a 5 just because it's so surprising in a good way. I want everyone to try it, which I think is probably like the best marker of like. 'Cause I mean, I think everyone will enjoy it. It's not like oh my god, this is so horrible, you have to try it. But it's like it just takes me on a ride that is so unexpected and so delightful that I'd give it a 5. I'm not big on sweets, but I'm glad I've got a second bag. Let me say it like that. So yeah.
Totally.
And then Patrick, you said 4 for your popping candy, right?
Yeah,
Because a lot of the jokes that we just made, were like that should have been like a 3 or under.
That's true. No, the chocolate was good, and you know what I would say if I was eating the apple waffle? More chocolate.
Dip it in chocolate. Yep.
Not enough chocolate for me.
No.
So
I'm gonna start saying not enough Pop Rocks. Give it some more popping candy.
that was a good prank for me. If you want to pull one on me, is just give me something with Pop Rocks in it. Just instantly furious.
Get you a chocolate fountain, but it's actually got popping candy inside of it as well.
That would be horrible.
Yeah.
A horrible surprise for Patrick.
Like, oh hell yeah! Like, oh, what the?
Oh no! Now I can't hear what the person I'm talking to is saying.
It's fine. Mouth, shut up.
Nathan, did you rate yours?
Yeah,
I give it a 5. Also,
oh, classic.
Yeah, he jumped straight in.
It's good.
He's like,
straight into it.
just a no-brainer.
I
didn't even.
I am sad. I only have one. I mean, I gave you guys the packages.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, and then
I think
Patrick
I'll have to
just
go find
threw
it
it straight
again,
away.
I ruined it.
I ate 3 cookies. I also haven't had dinner, so I want to eat this entire package, but I'm going to wait. So
you know what? If I'm thinking about it, I don't think you ever actually sent me anything.
In his whole life.
Yeah.
For the entire run of the show, you've never sent.
Yeah. Even the one that I found that was expired already.
Well, I will be buying more, so don't you worry.
Great. Nathan, take us out of here, man.
Thanks everyone for joining us again. You can hopefully like our show on if you want to like our show. There's a rating system. It's on both Spotify and Apple. But however, I did learn recently that you have to listen to a majority of the show to rate it. I think that might be Spotify, but
Yeah, I think
you
it's
can't just
Spotify.
you actually have
Well,
to
no, I think you have to listen to so many episodes. I think it's like 2 or 3
okay.
episodes.
Yeah. So if you are having trouble, that is your reason. Listen to the whole.
just skip ahead to the end of a couple and then give us a 5-star
Every
rating.
Yeah,
episode.
come back and listen to another episode. Don't just listen to one.
They don't have to do that. Just lie about it and give us 5
But
stars.
I know we're opening up our queue to potentially have guests and stuff as well. But if not, please send us some email. If you have any questions or anything, it's
If we don't open it up, reach out to us anyway.
Yeah, it should be.
I think that form is open. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, we still have a website. I think there's some things that need to be fine tuned, but of course, we have a. I don't know. Have we had a voicemail in a long time?
No, and actually, I missed the cutoff date, so we don't even have the phone number anymore.
Oh, okay. So
R.I.P.
Just not even list the number then.
Oh, Patrick, what did you just choke on?
Nothing. Like laugh.
Oh my
and then
God.
Choked on his laugh.
I tried to be quiet because I didn't want to wake him up.
But you can find me online.
You choked on your own laughter?
Yeah. Yeah, when I'm trying to stifle it, it goes back in my throat. Gets me choked up.
That's a new one.
Amazing.
You guys don't have the decibel of laughter that I do. It's a physical.
That's true. If I ever need to make fun of you, it's just do Patrick's laugh.
It's like comic books when you LOL or ha ha comes out of your mouth. Like a physical,
I got speech bubbles for sure.
Cartoon. Got it. If you want, my handle online is nnowalk on Instagram.
Hit me up at KJ Roelke wherever I want to be found on the internet.
And follow me at Patrick in the World wherever I am on the internet. But also I have to do one more plug because it was just recently announced, former guest of the show, also friend, also adoptee, Grace Young Foster and her organization, the Inclusion Initiative, is just announced their 2025 Leadership Summit. That'll be in Minneapolis in November, and I am going to MC. So that was a subtle plug for the conference or for the summit, but mostly for me. So
awesome.
Shout out to Grace and shout out to me for doing that.
Yes, congratulations, Grace, for making it happen. And Patrick,
talking about
Patrick, you're also there.
People, but
yes,
she's another one. So
absolutely. Yeah, helped out with like a lot of friends and family of the show, if you will. Michelle Lee, Jerry Wan, Patrick, obviously, other people. So yeah, I actually got tagged in a comment on LinkedIn about it, and I was like, "Yo!" So that's cool. Yeah, we're really thrilled for you, Grace.
Yep. Well, thrilled for Grace. I'm just helping. So.
And also Patrick is there, so if that's like a thing for you.
Yeah, that's actually, we're seeing people asking for refunds now for tickets. Hard purchase.
Oh, we're actually seeing ticket sales go backwards. That's horrible. Yikes. Well, anyways, send us an email, janchishow@gmail.com. That's the best way to get in touch with us. Follow the show on all the platforms at Janchi Show. Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah. Do not try and call us.
Thanks for listening. I know it's been a while. We're still here.
Well, we're still here. Still making time.
Still here.
Yeah. Summer is over, so hopefully we'll get a little bit more regular. But if not, we'll make sure to eat some fiber. Till next time, Janchi Heyo.
Fiber.
I saw that dad joke in there. More regular. I got that.
Is that a dad joke?
It's a dad joke.
All right. It just feels like a poop joke.
I don't get it.